All right, and we are live. This is going to be BC Gators, BC Blue versus Team IDK in the Odyssey tournament. With me today, we have the amazing Mr. LeapFrog.
I like how you did a little adjective in there. Thanks, Phoenix. I appreciate it. It's been a while, man. I haven't been back on the Brazosport channel for a minute. I know the last time you guys got to see me was down at Legends Fest. Amazing event. And I know the teams are eager to get us started here again tonight.
Yeah, we've had the summer break for most of our college students, so although some of the teams have had practices still, there's been very few tournaments or any matches to live stream, so a lot of people have kind of taken a break. But with that also has come a lot more cementing of the team. So today's lineup, we're gonna have Haikuru on DPS, we're gonna have Gato and Aitley on support. We have Delta Jaden on tank, and last but not least, we have Dream or Greninja on DPS as well. Be Samoa first here, gonna be taking that ground right now. Dealing with that Malga already down Haikuru. Unfortunately, you have to regroup to take this fight further. They are pushing into the Zara bubble, able to hopefully single out that Cassidy. Is getting low.
Yeah, this is one of those situations where like you want to run the Zarya so you can get as much charge as possible, but you got to make sure you keep your team alive. Everybody getting super squishy. I mean, Greninja gets a pick for the road, but winds up falling in the process. So now you can see everybody on the side of IDK getting very, very low, forced to back up. Malgo sprinting for the hills. That's not what you normally see. You don't see a Malga typically running away. Normally he's the one charging into battle, and luckily BC is going to be able to bring it back and take over control of the point. Yeah, just playing very eager, again, just trying to take over the high ground, let your Cassidy kind of go to work. It's kind of interesting. I mean, still rocking the Reaper. I know Reaper took a pretty significant hit on the most recent patch, you know, losing 25%, 25 HP, not a whole lot, but it's still enough to make things a little bit harder to get into. Not Nagai winds up falling, so no more Malga for the team. They already committed the Kitsune Rush, and real smart from Gato, not pulling the trigger on it right away. Normally you see Kiriko's match the Kitsune Rushes, winds up falling in the process, and that's going to be it for this fight. Again, BC looking very, very clean. They got 5 ultimates to their name.
They are going to have to look at using some of these soon. If they put them off too long, they'll waste more ult charge, and they might give the ult advantage to IDK.
Yeah, and you can see smartly, Styx is actually going to wind up swapping off of the Reaper, going to the new addition to the game, the Xion. Hopefully we can see some more progress with that, but I mean, you can see some ultimates lined up for the side of IDK. Maybe they're going to try to engage with the Beat and the High Noon. They don't have anything to stun him. I mean, unless Aitley goes crazy and wants to just charge into the battle, you can see them still just slowly poking, getting their way into the fight. That guy getting very low. High Noon is going to be triggered, but they're caught in the Graviton and walks into a huge Grav Dragons. Absolutely obliterated, and 75% and counting. Phoenix, they're looking really tight here.
They are looking very good for this first map. That was 2 ults out of them and an ult out of IDK. So even right now, Brazosport still has the ult advantage right now, and it's already 9%. They are on the clock to try to touch. If they can,
it's going to be rare. Nagai barely going to be, I was going to say, not even going to be able to make it to the point with no beat. It's going to be so hard to try to survive. Not going to be able to live for too much longer. Gato putting the nail in the coffin with the extra Kitsune Rush on top of that. Aitley just getting involved with the mix, but Shtick, I mean, you're going to be able to get that 1 pick, but it's too late. It's already over.
It's 1 pick.
The Sojourn. Yeah, just not going to be able to survive for too much longer. Jaden as well, just putting the work in. My bad, Phoenix.
No, you're good. I was going to say 1 pick is not enough when you run into 3 ultimates.
That's the coughing baby analogy, right? And they just running into that mix. It's not a whole lot you can do in that situation. Just utter obliteration. So great start right now from BC, and I believe it is a first to 3. So based on how these Discord tournaments normally turn out, I would assume it's first to 3. Do you know?
Yes, that is correct. This is a first to 3 match right now. This is the second match BC has had in the Odyssey tournament. Their first match was, if I remember correctly, a 3-0 roll. And from talking with the team's captain, Aitley, this is the team they've been most cautious when approaching, and it's the team they've been most anticipating because they expect to be the hardest matchup they're going to have.
100%. Yeah, these are one of the teams, like when they have the silly names like IDK or like trash Overwatch players, like these ones are the ones that try the hardest. And you see them going for a London Spitfire approach, going for the Reinhardt, Symmetra, Bastion, traditional style brawl comp. And now you see Jaden being very cautious, kind of looking out. They know where they're at, but they're just waiting for that teleport.
There's the teleport. They do get low. Bastion's crit. Bastion goes down, although Hakuru, Jaden, all go down at the same time. Dream's able to secure a kill on water. It's down 2-3 right now, but unfortunately IDK still has a solid core of their team left alive. BC Gators have to retreat from that and give up point.
Yeah, I mean, when you lose your entire team, I mean, it doesn't matter what IDK loses. As long as they keep their Reinhardt alive, there's no way they can try to pressure this objective. So you can see, you know, trying to make sure they prioritize keeping the Reinhardt alive. That's going to be like the staple for their team. I mean, they can lose everybody, but the main point is staying in control of this objective. And you can see them kind of huddling into a corner, waiting for the recharge on the teleporter, maybe trying to, you know, dive onto a potential target. I would imagine Greninja going to be the primary one, but they wind up losing the point all the while. The window does come up. Gonna be a big fight here once again.
See, Greninja taking off angle. Unfortunately, Bastion focuses him down, takes him out. Hakuru again, shots off from the off angle. Immorfield is out. Fogsy goes down. Not Naga goes down. This is BC's fight to win. Just Bastion and Bap left. Hakuru, Gata goes down. Bastion goes down. It's just Baptiste. And that's BC's win for that fight, and almost tied up on percentage-wise. Gonna try to pressure the Reinhardt back before he can get set up well.
Oh yeah, this would be a huge little stagger if we can get rid of the Reinhardt. I mean, they are charging a little bit of some ult charge towards the supports, and I think Jaden smartly recognizes that. Already has grabs, so doesn't need to overstay his welcome. And I think we're going to see the tried and true combo once again. Kind of a glaring oversight to actually surrender that point. Not what you normally want to do, especially with this style of brawl comp. But you can see Hikaru on the prowl once again.
There goes the grab, and do we hear dragons coming out? We don't. Grab looked like only got one person. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough to take that fight. Dragons did go out, but didn't get anyone, unfortunately. That's going to be 2 ults out of Gators. They do lose point at 65%. They are up by a decent amount. Hakuru again, the poke damage, just charging ult here on the off angle.
Yeah, and this is huge. Look at the ult situation when it comes to these teams. I mean, IDK didn't have to use any ultimates in that fight to win it. All they had to use is Immortality Field, and they completely negate the grab. So now they're going to have to go into essentially a dry fight unless Aitling wants to try and commit one of these support ultimates. I mean, they do have Kitsune Rush. They could try to put it onto point, but I think they're going to mainly bait out the beat first, or maybe the potential teleporter. Greninja caught with his pants down, not going to be able to do anything except watch as the Reinhardt swings endlessly onto him. Everybody getting super low on the side of IDK. Immortality Field forced to come out. They do lose Fogsy in the process, and despite the wall going up, they're still losing bodies left and right. Hikaru popping the pulse bomb, still getting a lot of damage chunked into the supports. And you can see Nagi still going ham, going sicko mode with the Reinhardt surviving and just swinging non-stop. And that's all thanks to Water surviving that interaction, just keeping him nice and healthy during that fight. And a window's going to come out. They do flip the point over, so this is another opportunity for BC to get back into the fight, but they will lose.
They did eat a lot of ults out of IDK, though. They used up Reinhardt ult, they used up Symmetra ult, they used up Baptiste ult, they used up Bastion ult. They've only got Fogsy now, although BCS did use up both their support ults. So this is going to be a bit of a dry fight for both teams.
Yeah, but who's going to touch? I mean, I guess Hikaru's got to be the one to touch here to make sure they trigger the overtime. They do get it to trigger, but they lose their main damage dealer. Greninja winds up falling, and Stick, he just full charge, just blowing everybody up.
It's going to be a matter of if Hakuru can touch enough to keep this fight going longer. Unfortunately, can't get it this time. That puts the map to 1-1. Third map, or third point, will decide this map. I wonder if we'll
going to.
Let's go for it.
You tell me what you think.
Oh no, I wonder if we'll see a switch out from the Tsar. Although the Tsar worked very well round 1 into the Mauga, the Tsar is definitely suffering now, trying to force it into the Reinhardt, who is a bit of a counter to Tsar in many ways.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, again, the ability to stop swinging your hammer on a moment's notice. You see a bubble come up, you can immediately stop pouring damage in. Or you have the opposite side. You could just go crazy and just completely blow it up, especially with the addition of the Bastion and the Symmetra. You have so much damage that you're going to try to mitigate. It's going to be a very difficult task, but you know what? Jaden's going to stick it out with the Zarya. Greninja going over to the ninja himself of the Genji, and Hikaru back on another hit scan, this time going to be the Sojourn. So
probably trying to focus more on that bubbling the Genji, Genji to keep him alive during these fights now. IDK hard pushing the backline, forcing BC to scatter in multiple directions here. BC does lose Gato, but takes out Symmetra in the process. Reinhardt's looking low. Bastion's looking pretty low. Reinhardt's already healed back up. Bubble over to Dream. Keeps them alive in this fight. Fogsy goes down. 8ly absolutely owning the backline. Gato goes down right after getting back. Reinhardt is looking low in the back line. BC has not given a point yet. But yeah, Jaden is alone here right now and has to pull back.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because, I mean, you saw the Reinhardt get super low, you saw Bastion get super low, but I think the main thing is they're not dealing with this Baptiste. This Baptiste stays alive during these engagements and able to keep their entire team nice and healthy, having access to Immortality Field as well, a big thorn in their side. So I think they're going to have to try to get one of the flankers on there and start putting some more pressure on these supports. Because, again, if you don't kill Baptiste, it's going to be impossible to take care of this Reinhardt. With the amount of damage mitigation he has with that shield up, it's impossible.
We are seeing Dream going in after the Bastion. He is looking mighty low though. Akuru getting the 2. Akuru with the 3. Do lose 8ly and Jaden. Can Dreams help secure that kill with Gato? This is BC's fight to win. Just Sim left on point. No cooldowns on Sim, but she is fully charged.
Oh my gosh, and there goes there's no way! There's no way!
Oh.
I can't believe it. I mean, you want to talk about Hikaru going crazy, getting 3 picks in that scenario, but not getting the pick that mattered the most. Shtick, again, full charge on the point. Finally taken care of at this beginning now. But again, we have to get rid of the Baptiste. It's one problem after another. You deal with one, now you got to deal with the second. Shatter does come out, so we're not going to see any big shatter here, but we are going to try to dodge the window. 8ly pushing through the window with the rally. Immortality Field goes out as well.
Yeah.
There's a boatload of ultimates being used right now, and looks like it's going to go in favor of IDK.
Now this is definitely showing what 8ly was saying previously about this can be the team that's going to give them the most challenge in the term. This team to watch out for here. Yeah, they might have one more touch. They might have one more touch if they can get with Greninja pushing into the bubble potentially.
It's going to be tough. He's got to try to get onto the point safely. He does have Blade as well. He's just going to pop it straight away. Bubble straight to the backline. They do get out B and Immortality Field. We have access to grab. It's going to come out the last second. They do get most of their teammates teleported out, but the damage has already been done.
That's
swapping over to the Ana as well.
That's
just pouring out resources.
Full team wipe for BC. Huge plays there. Nice combo between both Jaden and Dream, as well as Gato and Akuru and 8ly helping up finish out that fight.
They got to do it again, though. I mean, now they have to do it without the big ultimates. Those are like their win conditions traditionally. So now going into this without it, I mean, 8ly has to be huge with these antis.
They do still have Gato's ult here with Kitsune. There it goes. They're hard pushing now. Yep, there. That one exactly. Looks like they've already TP'd back to the backline, trying to single someone out here to secure the kills. Haven't seen anyone yet. Greninja goes down. Here goes out Baffle. Jaden's looking mighty low. Hikaru ults. Kuru gets picked almost immediately. And that might be it for map 1.
Yeah, that's going to do it here. I mean, Greninja might be able to get the last second desperation touch, but the damage is already there. I mean, what a turnaround from IDK. I mean, that first map looking completely disheveled with that Malga comp, swapped over to the tried and true Rein Symmetra, and they look like a completely different beast.
No, definitely. They saw what BC was running and immediately adapted and adjusted to it. Let's see if BC can do the same thing now to what IDK has been playing here. Try to find a way to play around that Reinhardt, play around that Symmetra, and play around that Baptiste.
Yes, I'm wondering what I don't know. Are there bans in this one? I know typically these tournaments have bans, but I'm not too sure with this one.
Ah, so I didn't quite catch that.
Oh, my bad, my bad.
Okay.
I'm assuming they have bans on it. I believe that last map we banned Ramattra, right?
I believe so. I didn't get a chance to see what the bans were focused on trying to get the match up and running and try to figure out other tech issues on the tournament side. But no, the next map will have to take a second to see what we get with it and see what bans run out. I'm suspecting we'll probably see a ban for either Ramatra or Symmetra, and then or potentially save that for later. But I suspect that might be BC's 3 upcoming bans. Will probably be Ramatra, Symmetra, and Baptiste in some form of order between them.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things that I know you want to save them towards the end of the series. Again, with the first of 3, you have a lot of time to go through the works. But at the same time, you don't want to spend all your crucial bans super early on. So then, if you finally get to a do or die overtime situation, like, oh man, this could have been the one time we could have had a Reinhardt ban when they're actually going to try and play it. It really depends on the map selection as well and what the teams decide to go for. If they want to relinquish their map selection and go for a ban instead. Uh, Again, I don't know the exact specifications on the which teams get to ban and which maps they get to go off of. So it really depends on Odyssey's rule set to go from there.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure on the Odyssey's rule set myself in this situation. I've not read into it too deeply. But no, I do believe it'll be interesting to see what kind of heroes IDK bans, potentially banning the Genji or more likely the Zarya, unless BC bans the Reinhardt first. Because if
I'm not gonna lie, Phoenix. I think, in all honesty, I think they're definitely paying attention to Hikaru. I think that was definitely the team's win condition. I think they're going to try to target him, maybe prioritize one of the hit scans, whether that be the Cassidy, the Sojourn, and just get rid of it out of the player pool for them, and kind of make it a little bit harder for their team to clutch up. Because you saw the only times on the bottom half of that map that BC was able to bring it back was if they had some big ultimates, whether that be the grab, the Dragon Blade, or the Overclock.
yeah, so it looks like BC Gators chose Escort for this, which means I believe that the other team, IDK, will get to pick which map on Escort. So for the map pool we have for Odyssey Tournament this season, for Escort, we've got Shambali Monastery, Circuit Royale, and Dorado. Looking at their hero pool, I believe Moses will do pretty well with the sim, how they've been playing the brawl teleport in the back line, Symmetra. Although a lot of these maps do favor a Sigma pretty well too, so we'll see how that plays out. I'm not entirely sure of Jaden's hero pool when it comes to tanks. I've not seen him play tank very often. I'm excited to see how they do with that.
See, that's the benefit of you being there in person. You could literally just walk over to the other room and say, "Hey, man, which tanks do you play?" So I don't think you'll do that right now, but in the future, we could definitely find out about it. It's funny. I get to meet a lot of these players. I did get to meet Aitley back at Legends Fest. A couple months ago. It's nice to see him still competing, still grinding. I don't know if he's still competing in Rivals as well, or if it's just been a pure Overwatch mindset for him. But either which way, I just know these competitors both all get very hungry when it comes to competition. And I know you guys want to do another summer tournament, and that got pushed back a little bit. And so now you kind of just gotta take this Odyssey one and just hope you can run away with the tournament title.
Exactly. I know Aitley has withdrawn from the Rivals team right now, is focusing just on Overwatch, which from his perspective, or for him, it has worked out pretty well so far. He has managed to climb up into GM Edge of Champion right now, sitting, I believe last I checked, he was around rank 205 on the NA leaderboard for supports. So his efforts have definitely been shown through. You see a lot of his gameplay there as well. He definitely knows where he needs to be, knows where he needs to do on his heroes to be able to support the rest of the team as much as possible.
Now I want to ask you, Phoenix, did you get to watch the mid-season championships down at Paris?
I watched as much as I could, but unfortunately 5 a.m. start times are a little bit rough when I'm only going to bed at like 2 a.m. So
Yeah, I understand. We stay up to degenerate hours, but I mean, there's obviously a limit. I mean, I can't survive past 4 a.m., especially now that my new work schedule. I've been starting, bright and early at 8 a.m. It's been a little bit more difficult for me. However, if you ever get a chance to look back at the VODs, definitely worth a watch. If Aitley wants to channel his inner shoe right now and pull out the Ana, I do not blame him in the slightest, because that dude was going absolutely sicko in the finals. So I won't spoil it. So you guys can go back and watch.
Finals.
You watched it. Okay.
The finals were spectacular. Both Shu and Quartz running away with it. Unfortunately, there's only so much Quartz can do for their team. But Shu was hard stopping everyone. Shu's Ana was on point. So it does look like the way the Odyssey tournament's working is the losing team gets to pick a mode, the winning team gets to pick a ban from that map, and the losing team gets to pick a map. So it looks like BC Gators have chosen Shambali Monastery for map 2. And I believe they will have them on defense first, I believe.
Hopefully.
Now we get to see what the bans are going to be.
Yeah, and I think I would believe IDK will be able to select the first ban. And based on how the normal bans work for a lot of these online tournaments and Discord, or the Discord tournaments, but online leagues themselves, is typically they get to select a ban, and that particular role is protected. So you can only ban one hero per role. I would assume they're going to try to protect the Reinhardt here, maybe take away a tank. So I think you already hit the nail on the head. I think we're going to wind up seeing a Zarya ban from IDK.
Yeah, I'm pulling up the rule set right now. Actually, I'm checking. I believe you are correct with that when it comes to how the ban system works.
I sometimes know what I'm talking about.
More than sometimes.
Barely. But now, when it comes to BC, I think with their retaliatory ban, I think if you truly think that, and again, Shambali is a kind of a crazy pick to go for, knowing what they like to try and run. You have a couple different maps to your disposal, but to the fact that you're going to go for the Shambali, I'd imagine Jaden's going to try to lean on the Ramattra pretty heavily. Maybe the Reinhardt comp isn't as threatening when you have access to the Ramattra, but I still think Bastion could definitely be a threat.
No, I fully agree there. And yes, I was just double check the rule book. Yes, that is exactly how the bans will work. It's going to be IDK going to pick first, and it looks like they're picking a ban on D.Va, trying to protect that Reinhardt most likely, because as you mentioned, once a type of hero, for example, tank, DPS, support has been banned, then it can no longer be played. BC, understandably, bans Symmetra in response. So that's going to be a D.Va and Symmetra ban out of this. They are using up their Symmetra ban early, so they will not be able to ban Symmetra again. But hopefully that should be enough to win them this map here.
Well, I don't even necessarily think it's just to win it, but just like to deter them from running the Reinhardt composition, right? Because I think a lot of teams, when they want to run this traditional Reinhardt style brawl comp, you really lean on the Symmetra for the not only the versatility, but then the actual mobility side of things, where you want to get the Reinhardt to and from high ground, you just teleport him up there. We still could see it in the future. I mean, we still have access to characters like Jetpack Cat that have been definitely opening up the verticality of all of our maps. And normally it's been very limited when it comes to tank play, because like when you play maps like Dorado, or you play maps like I don't know, like Esperanza, you want to have some tanks that can have a little bit of verticality to kind of get in and out of the fights pretty quickly, in and off the bridges. But now that you have this Jetpack Cat on the field, it can really open up the map and make things a little bit easier for your tank to prosper.
It is very valuable. It creates a whole new style of gameplay around Jetpack Cat, especially when it comes to characters like Reinhardt or Sigma or Ana, who are traditionally not very mobile characters. Suddenly you give them the mobility and aerial ability that can turn the map around here. Alright. So we are back here. As I said, we're going to be in Shambali Monastery here. Same lineup from BC Gators again. Delta Jaden on tank. Greninja, Haikuru on DPS with Aitley and Gato as their support backline. Looks like there wasn't... Water, I believe, is new for IDK here. I believe they did swap people out. They do have not Naga again, this time going Sigma. And we'll see what Delta Jaden decides to go into this. Another good counter into Zarya, but we'll see how he responds to it.
Yeah, Water was playing the Baptiste before, so he's still sticking in. Yeah, no, I don't blame you. It's like he's not playing Baptiste. It's like he doesn't even exist now. I have had experience with Water, believe it or not. I recognize the name. I had to do a little investigatory work. And I've definitely commentated him in a couple of the other online leagues that they have, like the SPCS, the Spawn Point Championship Series, along with the Annihilation Series. So definitely not a name I'm unfamiliar with. But either which way, Jaden back on the tried and true Ramatra. You can see Hikaru going for the Bastion. So that's why no Bastion ban on the side of BC Blue. But we're going straight into the high ground and going straight for the jugular as we get rid of Fogsy.
That's a huge early pick here. Unfortunately, Greninja does go down. They've completely flipped the board right now. Takes out Styx. That's BC Gators controlling the high ground at the first point here in Shambhala, not even touching the payload yet. Probably gonna send someone back.
We gotta get the payload moving. Like anybody's gotta touch that right now.
There you go. Greninja grabs on his way back from respawn here. Want to secure the team fight though before they even go for it. That should negate that long, arduous slugfest that normally is that first little corner. And I seem I've got to eat my words as immediately IDK retakes the high ground. But yeah, it might not be enough. BC Gators have already pushed past it around that first corner, about to get the second corner here under the little bridge.
Yeah, that's the only bad thing about not running that Lucio is that when you want to re-engage, it becomes a little bit slower to kind of get back into position. You see them trying to take over the high ground, but it's, I mean, they've already pushed that payload already fully past. They're willing to commit the Annihilation. They do got quite a few picks onto the point. You can see the Sigma getting very low, but the amount of bodies just keep piling up on the side of IDK, and they're going to wind up getting a pseudo team kill for them, and as they stop that payload about 15 meters shy of the objective. And it's unfortunate Jaden had to commit to his Annihilation there, but you know, we do still have a couple win conditions on the side of Blue.
Yeah, I mean, we have both Gato's Kitsune as well as Akuru's Bastion ult here, and it's looking like they're already getting...
We just flipped the map again?
Yeah, what?
Okay, duplicate the Ramatra, but look how far away we are! We're so far away from the point, we still have not come in. We're going to pop the Sigma Graphitic Flux just to kind of make some space in, but by the time Stick gets in, I think his Annihilation is essentially going to be dissipated. Bastion just putting a lot of damage onto the Sigma. They do get a tail end pick, and you know what? I was concerned about the timing of that ultimate, but he's still able to make it work. Fogsy getting onto the kill feed as well, just being a nuisance when it comes to playing a support.
Yeah, we are seeing still, they have Aitley's Lucio ult here running into Winrelex's Soj ult. That should be able to keep the team alive, hopefully, when they pop it. There's going to be an interesting fight here, though. Yeah. Yeah,
I was going to say, you better knock on wood right now, because that's one of these are one of the ultimates that did get Ajax the most, is when you're dealing with an overclock. Straight to the back line, Greninja getting pretty close to a blade. They're going to pop the Kai Sanctuary, but I mean, this damage is starting to mount up for him. The double kill from Winrelix, actually making a triple kill as he kind of cleans up the last pick. I mean, we do utilize a big ultimate, but think about it. That was a 1-for-2 trade. Not too bad on the side of BC Blue, and they still have 40 seconds left.
So, and they pushed it to about within a meter of first point here. So one fight, and they'll have first point. They are getting close to quite a few ults here too that should be able to win this fight for them. And doesn't look like IDK will have too much to answer with when it comes to ults and response. But they are going to need to look at touching soon here. Seeing if Akura can single out the Echo. Gato goes down early. Haikuru takes out Not Naga. goes down in
Greninja
exchange,
popping
though.
Blade on point.
Greninja got Blade on point. They're on point, controlling point right now. See if they can push it the last away there.
Not able to get anything going, but Jaden still got Annihilation, so we still have a win condition. Gonna pop it and just got the whole block the entire time. They duplicate a support just to kind of keep their team's hopes alive. They get the ball back onto point. Jaden falls, no Blade kills, and no Annihilation picks either means it's gonna be up to Kakaru to kind of make some magic happen and get the picks needed. But when it's just him alone on point, one versus an army, not gonna be able to make it happen, not gonna be able to get it open. And just like that, they're going to be able to full hold him here. A win condition once again for IDK. Looking really, really solid. Despite the Symmetra ban, you see Winrelix was still putting the hurt on the Soldier.
Yeah, although that was a rough first round with attack there, it is still winnable. It's always winnable.
100%.
Just need to
100%.
stop it for that first point now.
I do not want to start, celebrating too early if I'm IDK. I take a sigh of relief, but there's still an opportunity to get even fuller held. I mean, this map in particular, how many times did we see at the mid-season championships that this map would go almost all the way, like they would get full stopped and then another team gets stopped even further. So definitely a possibility. I'm surprised that, they didn't try to mount up a couple ultimates and try to just full push onto the payload, because there was quite a few opportunities where they just completely surrendered the point. C so close to securing that first checkpoint.
Even with that, they did do a great job at flipping the point completely repeatedly and putting IDK in a disadvantage, in a bad position to be able to try to have and force them to retake point there from behind. We are seeing the Malga into Sigma matchup this time. Jade on the Sigma. Haven't seen that in a hot minute, so I'm excited to see how this goes for them. Greninja is gonna switch over to the Hanzo. Crew sticking it out on the Tracer. Atley switching out onto Brig with Gato on the Baptiste.
Yeah, definitely some comfort picks is coming up for the side of BC Blue. I'm hoping they're not going to try to do what they did earlier and kind of let that payload just scoot on by. I think Hikaru, I know he's trying to go for picks right now, but I think his sole purpose has got to be contesting this objective. You see, not the guy going straight to the high ground, just trying to get pressure and get rid of the Sigma off of there. You're not going to be able to make too much pressure on with it. Hikaru getting rid of the Genji is a great start, so nobody's going to be pushing payload. Even if they wind up winning this fight, not going to make too much progress as we move along. Greninja getting a pick as well just to equalize it, and now the BC Gators are eating good.
Yeah, pushing straight on there. Looks like that Kiriko's 1 HP. Never mind, Atley finishes off the Lucio and the Malga with a nice stagger on those three as well. So retake their positions again. That's the first team fight of many. BC Gators, they're able to win this now. They just keep it up.
Yeah, they're gonna have to win, 3 or 4 more consecutive fights just like that. You see Shtick not having access to the Symmetra, still wanting to beam some targets down, but Greninja beams down a target himself and just completely obliterated him with the storm arrows. You can see them, everybody just kind of trying to rotate the map, but they do lose a primary damage dealer with their Reaper being gone.
Yeah, rotating back around a point again, this time from behind. Malga is looking pretty low right now. They are seeing the Reaper getting back by now at this point here. They've delayed long enough. Fogsy goes down. BC Gators up right now by a support. That's huge. Styx goes down.
Make it 2. Yeah, Hikaru is definitely putting in the hurt. He's looking really good on this Tracer, and that's what I wanted to keep seeing. Whether Hikaru's going to play the hit scan or like a true dedicated hit scan like on the Sojourn, or if he's going to try to go for the Tracer, he needs to be active in these fights, and you can definitely see him taking a lot more active role, definitely making some, call-outs on rotation. Pulse Bomb does come out, not going to be able to get the connection onto the Lucio, but, they're still funneled in this corner, and that's where Sigmas eat the best. Dragon comes out as well, big damage. Window
field goes
utilized. Holy mackerel, there's a lot of ultimates being utilized in this corner. I think
Malga goes down. It doesn't matter. They win the fight. It's just Echo left. Echo's able to get Greninja, but they still get Echo down anyway.
Yeah, that's that. I'm kind of worried now, Phoenix. I mean, we got only a minute left, but that was 4 ultimates on the side of BC. I think a big overcommitment there. I mean, we wound up using Window, we used the Rally, and we wound up using Dragon. So now we have to just kind of lean on Jade and hopefully can get a huge graphitic flux.
He's
getting pop shots, got him!
Fogsy goes down early again. BC Gators up with advantage right now. Either can drag this fight out, takes out Sticks again. Hakuru working his magic in the back line.
Yeah, going into overtime right now. I mean, just completely obliterating the competition. I mean, nobody's even acknowledging his existence. He's just been getting pick after pick, uncontested. I mean, now he's got built up to another pulse bomb. So Fogsy got to be really careful in this next engagement. Has to make sure this is perfect. Has to get this beat out. We do duplicate the Mauga. Gonna put a lot of emphasis on the point, but Hikaru, again, just putting pressure on it, trying to keep it contested as long as he can. Flux comes out, but not before he dies.
That is a lot of ults out from IDK right now. They just have Reaper ult remaining. They're going to win this fight. BCK should have one more touch in overtime with at least one ult.
Greninja still lurking in the background. He might have the touch. We are in overtime, so there's not a whole lot of time you get for the overtime spawns. He winds up falling in the process. Dragons do come out. Nagai not having access to the cage fight anymore. Got to be ready for this Reaper Death Blossom. He's on the prowl. Winterlix can definitely win it here. A lot of damage being poured onto Sigma. Sigma falls, but their bodies are still piling up again. Winterlix getting the picks he needs. Finally taking care of a card right when they needed to. And an overtime push to narrowly take map number 2. IDK now on a 2-0 lead.
If nothing else, though, this match did show just how close these two teams are to each other. Although IDK is only up 2-1, both matches have been pretty close. Match 1 being a 2-1 win, and map 2 here being an overtime push to victory. So
just for 1 point. I mean, that's how close and evenly matched these teams are getting. So definitely a good match to start us off here for the tournament. But now, I mean, we're facing being sent down to losers. I don't think the BC Blue want to be sent down this early on. I think they want to stay winning all their matches, especially now that they feel like they've been so close. And then again, it came down to a single overtime push, and I think it all boiled down to that last fight where they overcommitted some ultimates. I mean, you saw how much time they had before they wound up capping. They could have, even if they wound up losing that fight, they had an opportunity. They could have recontested with those said ultimates and maybe could have been mounted up. I think the rally especially was a vital ultimate we had to save for that Reaper Death Blossom, because Winrelix had saved that up essentially the entire time, all the way up until we hit the final push.
Yeah, and we'll see if they are able to adapt and change according to that this next map. This will be the last map potentially. We'll see how it goes. I do believe it's BC Gators' pick again. This time remaining, they still have Hybrid and let me see, Hybrid. I'm trying to remember what other map options I have.
You probably got like Push and
Flashpoint is the last one. Yeah, Hybrid.
Flashpoint, yeah.
Hybrid, Push, Flashpoint. When it comes to Hybrid, the options for them would be Blizzard World, Kings Row, and Neon Junction. When it comes to Flashpoint, it's going to be Atlas and New Junk City. I know the teams and a lot of people don't like playing New Junk City too much. I know we don't have too much experience or practice on New Junk City, but decent amount of practice on Atlas.
Yeah, I'm wondering if they're going to try to go for... I think Payload is the right call. I think Hybrid's definitely going to be where they lean towards. I think they looked really, really solid on an objective-type game mode, objective-focused game mode. I think it boils down to just making sure you're going for the right call-outs, leaning on particular players. Like, I mean, you saw that last match, Hikaru was putting in some work, and it went the other way as well, where like Winrelix was really opening up fights by putting a lot of pressure on the back lines, forcing some mistakes. Stick as well was just going crazy on the Echo. I mean, every engagement, whether it's either Hikaru or Stick getting that opening pick. So maybe, just maybe, I think we're going to see a Neon Junction here.
I was about to say, it'll be interesting to see if they pick Neon Junction with it being the new map. And I know from experience from talking with quite a few team members, they don't like that map very much. They're not a big fan
they don't
of
like it?
No, they're not a big fan of it for some reason. Looks like it is going to be pushed though, potentially, because oh no, I lied. It's gonna be Renasapi, so it's gonna be Flashpoint here. So BC Gators pick Flashpoint, another objective-based game mode and map. This time though will pretty heavily favor the high mobility play style. Am I still lying? They said we picked Renasapi.
Renasapi's a push map. Which
You're
Flashpoint
correct.
you think? Yeah, Flashpoint. We got. Which one were you thinking of?
I don't even know what one I was thinking of. Hold up. What one was I thinking of?
Yeah, never mind. We're staying on the tier below. We're staying on, what are you on, BC Black? We're staying there.
Yeah, no, I guess so, yeah. And go back to my ABCs, maps, and heroes, I guess.
I mean, you're borderline starting to look down and count it with your fingers.
Yeah,
that's pretty funny. You said, ban this fool. That's all
Gators
good.
Does ban Lucio into this. So Renasapi, which is a push map, for those who don't know, like myself apparently, Lucio is getting banned into that. We'll see what bans. I suspect we might. Did we see? No, we saw a Diva ban previously, so we might see the Czar ban out of IDK. Honestly, potentially.
No. If you get the opportunity, you just saw Hikaru do some S tier work.
True.
We need to get rid of the Tracer. I think it's going to be completely ban the Tracer and make sure Hikaru doesn't have any room for success. I think you lean on him, push him more towards the regular hit scan role, whether that be the Xion or the Sojourn. I mean, it's still something you have to deal with at some point in time, but I think it's a little bit easier to deal with in that regard. So I would expect a Tracer ban. You can see Fogsy definitely feeling a little targeted with that Lucio ban. That is kind of weird the way they chose for Lucio, but I think if you're going to have to deal with a Ramatra, maybe you just don't want to have to deal with him going straight Usain Bolt to our supports.
Yeah, no, I fully agree. I say with Hikaru in mind, you saw how well he performed on Tracer. You probably wouldn't believe me, but that's not even, this season, he's not even been playing Tracer all that much lately. His main hero, he's been playing a lot of, well, he's obviously Cassidy with probably a guesstimate. I've seen him play Cassidy around 75% of the time, with Soj being his next highest, then Ashe, and then Tracer following up. Wow. But he's Tracer's on point, but he doesn't play her too much. So even if they ban his Tracer, he's still got more than enough heroes he can play into this. Most like the Cass will probably perform pretty well, especially if they're going to continue running the Echo. But that's still got time to tell. We still have not seen the hero ban coming out of IDK yet. We only know the hero ban from BC.
Yeah, so that's how you know that they're really thinking about it. So I appreciate them at least taking the time to dedicate some resources into it and just go, okay, we don't want to just throw out some random ban. We want to start looking over the players' tendencies, what their most played heroes are, and go from there. Again, I think it's going to be something targeted towards one of the players. But in all honesty, it wouldn't have been a bad decision as well to kind of get rid of one of the DPS on the side of IDK. I think maybe a Bastion ban could have been in the works just to make sure they don't try to lean back into the Ramatra or the Reinhardt teleporting brawl comps. But we're going to have to find out because I think the other ban just came in. And who is that, Phoenix?
Mauga. IDK bans Mauga, which is interesting one on this map, understandable. From knowing Delta Jaden, I don't believe he plays Mauga very much, so this shouldn't affect BC Gators too much, hopefully. So we are seeing the Lucio and Mauga bans for this map.
Right.
Which leaves
let's get back into it.
Yeah, leaving a lot of characters like Tracer, Reinhardt, Sigma. All those characters will still be free reign for the teams to use here.
Yeah. Again, IDK has the 2-0 lead over BC Blue. They're gonna have to try to mount a reverse sweep if they want to try to stay on the winner side of things here for this Odyssey tournament. You can see them starting off with the Zarya once again.
And as you were wondering, you were looking for a shoe earlier. Water going the honor, channeling his inner shoe, hopefully for IDK. We are seeing BC go into a lot of comfort picks again with Zarya, Hanzo, Tracer, and Brig, although Gato going the Juno. I don't think we've seen his Juno yet today. Hope to be able to give the speed boost for Aitley and Jaden to be able to engage quickly. Running into the ball and Torbjorn comp will be interesting though. Already seen Bull taking the far back behind BC Gators, pulling Hikaru's attention away. Hikaru making that ball hurt, trying to lure him back into the Torb. Torb set up his little nest there with the rest of the team, giving BC and the point right off the bat. Greninja goes down. Gato goes down. That's going to be a full retreat here.
IDK is definitely living up to their name because I have no idea what this team comp is. This is bizarre. I mean, you're running the Torbjorn and Emre for DPS, and then obviously you run the Brig and Ana for your support lineup. But who's your nano target here? Are you just gonna try to nano system overload living weapon and just go and hopefully he goes crazy with it, or like what's the idea here?
Also, that'd be my best nano, or my best idea for nano would be just nano the Emre and hope he does a good job with it. But the alternative is also nanoing to keep the ball alive if he went in too deep.
Keep your supports alive. There's definitely gonna be an option. You see Jaden slowly building up to that grab, and again, they're gonna struggle here with dealing with some of these ultimates. I mean, they have Pulse Bomb already ready from the side of Hikaru. Beautiful bubble placement from Jaden, just keeping their supports and their DPS nice and healthy. And you can see Hikaru already threatening to the backline, looking for a pick, but not without the help from Gato.
Gato does go down in the process. Unfortunately, it is currently an even fight right now. Jaden goes down. Losing their tank is gonna hurt here. Greninja goes down. Hikaru gets water. With her old granny legs, that might still affect this next fight. Might be able to still be the stagger. Depends how far IDK pushes this payload or this bot.
Yeah, gonna keep it pushing along. If they can get checkpoint here, this will be huge. And again, I'm concerned with like trying to ban the Lucio.
They stepped off.
They give it up.
They stepped off. Yeah, they were 4 meters away and they stepped off. And that might come back to bite them later. They are trying to flip the fight on BC again, coming from behind. BC just ignoring them, pushing the bot all the way back the middle, and now making progress on their own side here. Flipping this map back in its normal direction. Not Nagia goes down from Hikaru, harassing that backline even further. Applying that poke damage, almost got ult again.
Phoenix, this is crazy, dude. This is such a bizarre start to our map. I mean, we should have gotten checkpoint already on on the side of IDK, and now we're gonna have to go into this with potential minefields just to kind of stagger this point to make sure they don't lose the checkpoint themselves. They are gonna nano the system overload once again straight to the back line. Not gonna be able to get any picks to start off. But again, that's what I'm concerned about with like the nano onto Emre is not a huge like. You have to hope they just get lucky with their shots, because if everybody just hides, you're not gonna be able to find any type of success. Pulse bomb into the grab, gets the double kill, shuts it down. Now they start to deal with the two supports, the wrecking ball, and this checkpoint will be theirs.
Brig ult comes out, counter Brig ult. Here comes the mines. No one dies to the mines. Brig ult still just bashing out into each other here. Trying to back on the mine to keep the fight there. Ana goes down. This is BC's fight to win right here. Aitley just hiding around that little wall. Here comes the robot. This will be first point for BC. Maybe not. They do take the advantage and the lead. A lot of ults coming out. That's Molten Core out. Ball goes in, doesn't matter. BC gets the point. Now they focus on team fight.
I mean, that right there, I mean, that screams desperation inside IDK. I mean, using the minefield, I get it. The overload, though, I mean, when you're not even having any bodies close to the point, it's pretty much a throwaway. And you see Shtick immediately swap over to the Tracer, just trying to find some sort of remorse, maybe some desperation picks at the end, but he's almost going to lose that Tracer 1v1. You can see Hikaru just putting the hurt on him, forcing him back to recall, and right back to the point we go on the Wrecking Ball. But now you have to worry about this pulse spot. We get Stick the Wrecking Ball, just get him out of the fight entirely. Narrowly missed it, but it's all good because Water having Nano. This I don't know if you try to focus the Nano onto your Wrecking Ball. You do, and he's gonna hope to put some more damage on this high ground.
Fortunately, that anti from behind, huge, helps take out Gato and Greninja. That will be the team fight in IDK's favor, but it doesn't matter. BC is not only taken point, but pushed past point. I mean, the most valuable 0.5 meters of this map, besides the last 0.5, will be that first 0.5 after that checkpoint.
100%. I mean, that forward spawn means a huge difference because now you can get right back into the fight. And a very early Kitsune rush from Gato. I mean, a little preemptive because, I mean, there's nobody here. It's a barren wasteland on this objective. And I think they want to still keep maintaining that forward spawn, so they're going to be able to keep that going for a little bit longer. But you see Ailey getting super low into the backline. Shtick putting a lot of pressure on him, and now pulse spawn going to be inevitable from him. Willing to pop the minefield onto the corner as well. Greninja just all on his lonesome, and he's been standing there the whole time waiting for his team to get out of this corner and not going to be able to make it back to him in time. And look at that, Water already building back up to another Nano.
Hakuru goes down to Sticks here. This will be the point here by the look of it for IDK. Ailey popping rally goes down to Ball. There goes forward spawn for IDK. BC's gonna have to touch here really soon to make sure they don't lose the lead.
We gotta stop staggering though. We lost another body. Water catching another one right before they leave that safety of that room. And now you're gonna have to hope you can get a system overload straight to the back line. You can see Greninja piling up, but you do have access to a grab, so maybe you can catch another cheeky little double kill. Turn it around. Pulse bombs the Tracer. Winning the Tracer 1v1.
Ailey goes down. Greninja getting Gato. Trading kills between the two Emrays right now. Looks like Greninja is the better Emray. Winning the team fight, just Ball left. Making sure Greninja does not die. Ball goes down. Huge stagger on that. There is still something to point. Oh, it's Tracer just going to run away immediately. Unfortunately, looks like everyone might get forward spawns. No, they're able to stop spawn before Ball, so Ball gets fire spawn.
Yeah, an important thing to note, Phoenix, they still maintain the lead. So, I mean, if they get any type of additional lead here, this is more, you know, cherries on top that we can just keep mounting up this bigger lead. I mean, granted, there is still 2 minutes left on the clock, so they don't want to overcommit here. I think you just start stacking up some ultimates and prepare for an overtime push.
Yeah, they do still have 2 minutes, so they can't, unless their goal is to just delay time as long as possible. They are down a few. It is just Ailey and Delta Jade in the back line here. They might have a rough time getting a long stagger trying to run to the entire team. Oh, I lied. They're on their side. I didn't see what's going on there.
Yeah, you got 180, man. I get it. I mean, this Wrecking Ball has been doing such a good job at displacing a lot of
Here comes the grab. Here comes Brig ult. Brig goes down through her ult. Emray goes down. That was minefield in the back line. Akuru harassing Water. Water goes down. Gato dies to Water though first. Ball is dead too. That is BC's fight. And Sticks goes down just to clear it all out.
I mean, Hikaru, another clutch 4K. And look at what the only thing they committed there in that instance was the grab. And they wound up getting the rally out and the minefield. And they wound up winning that point. So that is a huge win on the side of BC Blue. They have an opportunity to keep mounting up that lead. But again, you got to pay attention to the side of IDK. They have a ton of ultimates lined up in their way as well. And another pulse bomb from Hikaru. Sticks again.
Yeah, trade there between the Emrays. Once again, at this point, any time being spent is an advantage to BC right now. Honor laying down suppressive fire on Jaden. Jaden, they're able to take out Tracer. Looks like he's trying to pack shot. Where all the balls going? 40 seconds on the clock. BC Gators in the lead right now. Try not to lose anyone. Fogsy goes down. BC Gators have the advantage here. Nano goes out. Looks like Ball's getting nanoed. Haiku in the backline has to use recall. Pull out of that fight. BC Gators kind of chilling around point, but not pushing too far. More trying to burn time right now. They are down to 1 fight territory right now. If they can just win this fight, get that peck off.
That's it. If nobody touches the bot on the side of IDK, the game just ends right now. So they need to get somebody on there. They don't even need to push this bot anymore. They do get somebody on it.
They are on point now, but they do lose people. They've lost 2. Almost entire backlines down.
No.
Here comes the Brig ult. Just 2 people on point. Emerald ult to hopefully kill the Ball. There goes Ball. There goes Tracer. Oh, Tracer's still
Recall just in the nick of time.
There goes
the
Tracer. And that will be round map 3. BC Gators winning it. Now up to 2-1 in favor of IDK.
Yeah, starting to mount it back. And Phoenix, I already told you, in order to make a reverse sweep happen, you got to get 1 game on the board. You prevented the 3-0 sweep. So it's definitely an opportunity for them to start bringing it back, reeling it back in. And honestly, all jokes aside, that comp was, definitely something to aspire to, but there's a lot of like great hero plays on the side of BC Blue. I mean, you saw Greninja go absolutely sicko mode with the system overload. You saw Hikaru again making magic happen on the not Tracer main. I mean, absolutely going in, unbelievable play from the DPS. I mean, great support as well from Gato and Aitley, keeping things in sightline.
Oh, exactly. And to be fair, IDK had some really good plays there too. That was a close match all round. I believe BC won by under 5 meters at the end. I think it was around 3 point something meters from the lead for IDK at one point.
Yeah,
but
it was very close. Yeah, I want to say, I don't think it matters in the grand scheme of things. I think if, in IDK's mind, whether they lost by 5 meters or 500 meters, still a loss. So definitely going to chop it up and think it over with your team. Because now the bans are starting to get a little bit more impactful as we go deeper into the series. And with most of the rule sets in place, Phoenix, I can imagine that you cannot ban the same character. The same team cannot ban the same character. So,
neither team can ban. Yeah, once one character's been banned in this, today's matches, it cannot be banned again by either team.
Oh, by either team, huh?
Oh, yeah. So since we banned Lucio, now IDK can't ban Lucio at all, but neither can we again. So that does mean Fogsy will get free reign of Lucio for the last 2 maps, potentially.
I love how we target him. He's like, that's the odd man out. That's the only man without the drive. So we got to make sure we pick on him.
Now we are seeing, though, I did notice we do actually have the event organizer in the chat right now. Gonna give a quick shout out to Zoran for organizing the Odyssey tournament. I'm not sure who else he has on staff, but you guys are doing a great job so far trying to get this out. I know you guys had quite a few issues going on, quite a few struggles and problems behind the scenes you guys had to fix. But yes, what I've seen has been a great job adapting to it and being able to put on this tournament for everyone, both playing and watching it.
Oh yeah, big stuff. Appreciate it. But I think we're starting to get the bans coming in and the map selection. It looks like the map selection is going to be New Junk City. And you saw, I don't know, did you catch that first ban, Phoenix?
I caught BC's ban, which was Reinhardt. I didn't catch what the ban was.
It was Tracer.
So a Tracer ban and a Reinhardt ban. We might be seeing the Malga again, potentially, from Not Naga. But we'll probably see Haiku default back into either Cassidy or Sojourn here.
Yeah, in all honesty, again, I think that one stick onto Shtick was like the determining factor. It was like, all right, I get stuck on the Tracer 1v1. We got to pack it up. We got to get this guy out of here. Do not let him play Tracer anymore. And I'm surprised we didn't see that on the last map, on a push map of all objective, or like on all game modes, I feel like Tracer should be the primary ban regardless of whether you have a Tracer player on the field or not, because it can be very hectic, very difficult to deal with. You're trying to focus people on the objective. There's bodies that could be, stacked onto high grounds. Picks can, come from afar, especially with players like Water and 8ly on the field. They've been kind of fiending for some Ana gameplay.
Well, I know, although IDK was running Brig, so in many people's mind, that is we've got the Tracer counter to a large degree. Tracer wouldn't dare be brave enough to come and attack our backline. We've got a Brig with a big mace in her hand right back there. He doesn't want a face full of mace. But Haikuru didn't really care and still got the picks anyway.
Yeah, hopefully the confidence is not going to be the undoing here. We're going into map number 4. Again, BC Blue still working on a map deficit. Score is currently 2-1 in favor of IDK. Let's see if BC Blue can take us to a final map 5, or is IDK going to wrap it up? Let's go.
We also seen Akuru go back onto the Cassidy again. 8ly running the Lucio. Gato sticking with the Kuriko. Delta Jaden going back to the Zara. This should work well into the Mauga, hopefully. Same as on the first round of the first map. We are seeing Greninja back on Genji again. Haikuru trying to get that early pick off. Unfortunately, Styx gets away barely. Delta Jaden holding the entire enemy team in this doorway. Has to give up space. You can see Naga just trying to ignore the Zarya and focus on the back line. Unfortunately, you're going to ignore Zarya for so long. Haikuru getting 2 picks, clearing out both DPS from IDK. Unfortunately, 8ly goes down. Fogsy goes down as well. There goes IDK's tank and Water. But Water does manage to secure the kill on Jaden, Delta Jaden, in the last second there. We are seeing the point. And the BC guys got the flip on the point right at the start of that fight. So they're already up to 40%. Probably one more team fight, and that'll be it. Not Naga trying to mirror the Zarya.
You already called it out too, Phoenix. I mean, Hikaru's still a problem to be reckoned with. I mean, he's actually more comfortable on this character. So now you're going to have to go into this fight and just hope you can try to find a way to deal with this Cassidy. They're going for the tried and true. They're going to go for the Sim Bastion strap, but without the Reinhardt, it's going to be a little bit harder to survive, but they are just going to pour bubbles and resources onto their DPS line. Hikaru's still getting rid of Shtick, and he's still hunting for more. With the assistance of Greninja, their DPS line is looking very, very fragile at the moment.
I mean, Dream's able to get out. They are able to push them off point. That's first point for BC Gators. Haikuru continues to secure the kills. 8ly tapping in as well to get some of that action. And Gato helping finish off Water.
Dude, I thought it was screen stained for a second. You know how it like permanently marks on a certain spot for Hikaru's name? I just saw nothing but Hikaru for, on the left side of the kill feed for like 30 seconds straight. Absolute insanity for this guy, just going ham on the Cassidy. And guess what? Now he's got access to a High Noon, and we got Grab. I think it's going to be inevitable because, I mean, we don't have a support ultimate lined up that can actually save us on this. We do pop Kitsune kind of early on. Wind Relic's going straight to the backline with the teleporter, but, I mean, they've already completely disengaged from this fight.
Here comes the Grab out, gets the bash and gets the Kuriko by the look of it. Both bubbles are forced off of IDK. IDK able to secure some kills.
No way! No way!
From behind, getting more of them. We are down to just Greninja and 8ly. Not going to try to touch, unfortunately. Give point over.
Dude, he almost turned that around, Phoenix. That was crazy.
He did. Unfortunately, wasn't quite able to, and they did commit a lot of ults to that fight into IDK's one ult. So that was a rough fight to have, but they're already still approaching. They still have both Blade and Beat.
Yeah, they do got some win conditions on their side, but they have to make sure they try to bait out at least the Beat. Maybe just let Hikaru get another opening pick like that. One pick in favor of BC Blue. They wind up losing their carry now.
There goes the
one popping Beat in retaliation.
Yeah, now that should... Greninja did end up popping Blade, unfortunately. We still got the Beat. There's the beat out from 8ly here. Pushing in, trying to secure some kills with that. And that will probably be the end of the fight. But that also is almost the last of IDK's ultimates. But that will secure them the point. BC Gators trying to work their way back up some ults. IDK just having their Sim ult remaining.
Yeah, I'm surprised we didn't try to kite that. I mean, trying to swing into a Kitsune Rush is super risky, especially the fact that you use the Kitsune Rush first. Typically, whoever uses Kitsune Rush first in those matchups typically is going to be the ones that wind up losing those fights. It's just a percentage thing. You see Stick getting super low, forced to just pop the wall at the last second, still winds up falling in the meantime. Greninja falls, so it is an even fight going into this. Everybody's super critical, maybe looking for a hunt onto the back line. Not able to find it quite yet. High Noon still lined up for Hikaru, but I mean, you can see the party running for the hills.
High Noon secures 2. Just Kiriko, just Zara on point. Kiriko goes down, it's just Zara left. Didn't even let them capture point. They get no percentage. This is BC's fight to win. BC secures the win with another kill by Hikaru. And there's the point for BC's favor. Now it's need to control it, push it all the way up here, out of this choke point, making sure no one tries to touch it.
Yeah, I think at this point, it's going to be a matter of who caps the point first, because you saw that first point going to the way of BC Blue, 100-0. This point, that second point going to the way of IDK, 100-0. Now, see if we can keep that pattern going. See a very early bubble onto him. Oh, and a very late Kitsune Rush. I was going to say, Greninja was already committed to his configure, so it's going to be a little bit harder to try to get some space.
Kitsune Rush in return.
What a huge grab!
Aitley and Jaden working together to wipe the team. Only losing Greninja early on in that fight. There might be one more fight here. And it'll be a close one. I think they might get touch if they rush this. They do have Bastion ult potentially. They do still have the Sim TP. Probably gonna Sim TP here as far as possible. Malga rush on the point. We're gonna see 90%. Here comes Beat out.
Very early beat again. Bastion getting kind of low. Does get rid of Greninja in the meantime. Bastion's still super low. And then again, when you don't have the Zarya, you don't have a way to kind of stay engaged in those fights. That's the only downside of running that Sim Bastion, is that they're very exposed. When they TP in or they commit to a fight like that, they're just kind of sitting ducks, and you have to just hope that they don't get focused down. But the way that Hikaru and Jaden have been playing in sync on all these targets, it's impossible to ignore. And right now, I mean, again, another 100-0 cap on point number 3. So now we go to point 4. This is it. I mean, we were literally battling for this point. Whoever caps it first will win the whole point.
Yeah, and it looks like both teams can get there pretty at the same time. IDK in the bit of the better position in here, being able to be on top of point, forcing BC to have to rush in as soon as possible. Hikaru going down. They've learned their lesson. They're focusing, and Bastion ult comes out, takes out Gato. Not Naga goes down. This is still winnable if they're careful. Play the slow. Jaden looking mighty low. Frogsy goes down. BC guys have the advantage. Sticks goes down.
Oh, that's it. Point goes to IDK. They even though they capped it first, even though they're about to lose, that's it. It's supposed to be 100-0.
BC Gamer's point.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, but remember what I said is whoever caps it first wins. It doesn't
well, it's
matter,
not a 100-0 fight though now, because BC now has point percentage on it. It's not over.
I have no
yet.
idea who's gonna win at this point now. This is gonna be crazy. We got a couple ultimates lined up though. We have the grab, we have the artillery strike. We can pair up with it, and Fogsy's got to be essentially perfect with this beat.
We're seeing almost all ultimates in favor of BC right now. Gato's about to get his, Aitley's about to get his, Greninja, Hikaru, Jaden will have this TP behind point.
No!
Grab gets no one. It might not matter. Artillery goes out, gets one. Hikaru goes down. See if they can secure the kill. Here comes the beat and the Malga ult. And the Sim ult. They are ult dumping here. Greninja goes down. Lucio's looking mighty low. Lucio out of that fight. Jaden goes down right at the end there. They do get 83%. One fight to win this. Saying it 2 ults with IDK having nothing to respond with.
Yeah, this is looking really good on the side of BC Blue. They have the win condition for sure, especially the way that Hikaru's been playing. They're going to have to just be really cautious if you're an IDK fan, because now you have to deal with the Kitsune Rush that can go directly to the point, put a lot of pressure on them, and the Sim TP's got to be perfect to try to keep them alive. Everybody's super low on the high ground. All they can do is just hide and run from Hikaru, because guess what? He is hunting them down. Teleport onto him, but he pops High Noon. Here we go. Oh,
He
he just
died
gets
before.
shut
It
down.
doesn't matter. Foxy and not Naga pay for it with their lives, and there goes Styx. BC takes point. IDK has to touch to try to keep this going. Kuriko on point. Kuriko goes down. It's just Bastion, and Bastion dies. That is BC. I lied. There's a loose O2, but it doesn't matter. That's BC tying this 2-2.
I'm not gonna lie, Phoenix. I think I just heard the team just jumping for joy. They tied it up. They brought it back from an 0-2 deficit. You could hear them already celebrating for now, but they don't want to expend all their energy too early on. They still got one more map to go. They tied it up though, 2-2. And honestly, I want to look back at that replay. I might have to get the replay code from you, Phoenix, because I think that Jaden's grab, it caught one of like the pieces of railing that shot out from the explosions. I think because it looked like it was just kind of floating in midair. Unfortunate with that grab, but it's not a big deal. It wasn't, it was costly enough to, force him onto to lose that map. But either which way, BC Blue, the determination, the tenacity that these guys have to stay motivated in this match, it's something to awe at, because now they take us to a final game.
It will be interesting. It's going to be hybrid. So it's going to be hybrid. I believe BC gets first map ban on this. Let me pull up the map pool for this. So it's going to be hybrid, which means Blizzard World, Kings Row, or Neon Junction. So BC gets a ban. I'm going to go on a limb right now, and I'm going to guess they're going to ban Blizzard World. I have no evidence.
Neon Junction?
No, I think they might try to go for Neon Junction. Mainly because I like Neon Junction. That's why I think they'll do it. I have no evidence for this at all.
That is 100% bias.
110%. It will be interesting to see the bans, though, because I don't think we've seen a Cassidy ban yet, have we?
No, we have not seen a Cassidy ban. So, I mean, again, I think you're stuck between a rock and a hard place when trying to deal with Hikaru. Because, I mean, you saw all throughout the series today, Hikaru has been playing very, very well on all the hit scan. Any character he's been playing today has been always something terrifying to deal with. But how could I forget? I did forget about the Scrims row. Kings row comes up, and you already know that no more Reinhardt ban. Yeah. No more Symmetra ban. No more Lucio ban. I think that they're going to try to stick with this Reinhardt style comp.
I wonder if BC's responses might be the Baptiste ban they've been saving, or if they're going to try to ban somebody else.
I would hope that they go for Bastion, because I feel like the Bastion does make things a little bit difficult. If they try to go for the Reaper, I think Reaper is a little bit more fragile in today's composition, especially in those brawl style comps. I think it's a lot harder to stay with the Reaper. But I mean, Baptiste is also a pretty good option as well.
Now, we'll see where they end up banning. Don't know what IDK is going to ban. I do suspect, as you pointed earlier, it probably is going to be the Cassidy. Try to limit what Hikaru can play, because he was countering their sim TPs pretty well. The moment the TP showed up, he just threw a flashbang in their face, and suddenly, they're vulnerable for a few seconds, allowing the entire BC to pivot and gun them down. Effectively, IDK feeding themselves on a silver platter to BC in those situations.
Yeah, seriously good awareness from Hikaru. I mean, being able to stay agile, stay quick on your feet. And that's not typically adjectives you'd use to describe a Cassidy player. Typically, they'd be a little bit more stationary, just a little bit more bunkered down. But the way Hikaru's been playing, he's been playing completely on the move, whether he's all by himself in the back line or just straight, on the hunches of the high ground. He's just been getting picks left and right. So he's got to keep that going for one more map. I mean, we're going down to a final map situation between these two teams, 2-2. It's anybody's game.
It really is. And you see both teams are taking a long time to think about who they want to ban here. Neither team sure will make the most impact of throwing the other team off of their game. And this is the one for the map. And as I mentioned, this is probably going to be Zarban from IDK. Trying to target ban Delta Jaden a bit here. Might see him pull out the Sigma instead, potentially.
Yeah, he's got a really good Sigma. I think Diva is definitely an option as well to kind of, again, I think if you're going to try to do anything in this next matchup, I think you just lean on your carry potential, right? You just lean on Hikaru and Greninja and just hope they just go absolutely sicko mode again and they just stay on the kill feed left and right. And the way you do that, just pour some put as much damage mitigation on the table as you can. Make it hard for the opposing team to eliminate your competitors.
Yeah, they did leave Hikaru alone with their ban, though. They didn't try to target ban him. They just decided, hey, we'll try to figure it out as we go, kind of deal to stop him and try to target the tank instead.
Yeah, it was one of those things like I believe they were doing a really good job at focusing. I mean, you saw the teleports onto Cassidy, but he would get those bubbles, and on top of that, he would get like addition of a Suzu to kind of help cleanse and kind of get him out of harm's way. So it was a lot harder to deal with when you have access to the bubbles. That, I mean, sure, they don't last a whole long time. They don't do a whole lot of damage mitigation, but they get the job done, because by the time that the bubble wears off, Hikaru is already either killed or just put one or two players very, very low.
Well, even beyond that, it's the matter of no one wants to shoot a Zara bubble. You don't want to charge the Zara. You're shooting the Cassidy, now he's got a bubble on him. If you shoot him, suddenly you have a high-powered beam in your back killing you. So it's pick the lesser of two evils. Either let Hikaru go ham on your on your side, or shoot him and charge the Zara who's in front of you, beaming you down.
Yeah, there's it's unfortunate that there's no other character in the game that it actively makes it worse for you when you shoot them. So normally that's it flips on its head, but Zarya's been around for a long time. Well, so obviously we've found a way to try to deal with her one way or another. I
mean, Genji deflect. And and BC bans Bastion, just as you called it earlier, the Bastion ban going through. So that's Zara and Bastion banned on King's Row for the last match here. We're gonna be I'm not sure if you can see the background. You'll see in a second here. I can see the production behind me getting very excited about this.
Guys, gotta keep it together, man. Keep it together. You're supposed to be professionals out here.
Where's the fun in that?
I know. You guys if you guys haven't already, you guys got to go take a trip down to the Brazosport College. Super awesome production side of thing, and the campus is beautiful. It's actually an amazing place to be. I was kind of jealous and sad that I had to drive an hour back home, because I was enjoying it down there back at Legends Fest, and I hope I get to come down there again and actually use that casting desk one of these days.
Yeah, I mean, you've seen the picture. We've got the full casting production set up for any students or community members who'd like to get involved with casting and learn how to do it, how to do the production kind of thing. Definitely want to have you down here again in person, be able to sit behind the desk and get to have the full experience with it. Yeah.
Well, man, we're about to get the full experience right now, Phoenix, because it comes down to this: a potential reverse sweep in our cards for BC Blue. They were down 0-2. They brought it back. We're down to a final game here at King's Row. So now it's up to IDK to shut down the reverse sweep, or is BC Blue going to be the heroes of our story?
BC Gators on attack first. Already seen the Sigma come out from Delta Jade. Hikaru going the Sojourn. He's probably expecting the Reinhardt. But we are seeing Naga selecting Sigma so far. Going to see the Sigma mirror on King's Row. Understandable. Greninja trying to get that early shots off with Widowmaker. Gonna see if Hikaru sticks with the sim or not. Did switch. 8ly going on to Baptiste with Gato on Mizuki. I know this is a little bit biased on my part. I'm seeing Fogsy go Wu Yang. I'm a huge Wu Yang fan. As much as I want Wu Yang to win, I want BC to win more. We are seeing the far
I'm not gonna lie, as soon as I saw the Wu Yang come out, I was smiling from ear to ear, because I knew that was gonna be the first thing you pointed out, because we have not seen a Wu Yang at all in our series, and this man is a Wu Yang diehard fan. He loves water.
Yeah, Wu Yang is very strong in general, but not as strong as many other characters on the current roster right now. See this fight going on. Delta Jade getting really low. Able to heal up here. We are seeing Greninja able to apply that pressure using the Freya, getting Naga pretty low. There's no picks on either side. That far is kind of off on her lonesome. Might be able to capitalize on that. Huge anti goes out, gets a lot of them. Ailey is on the honor right now, trying to keep him alive.
I mean, look how they're playing. They're literally terrified of Hikaru from getting a pick, that they're all just sitting in corners, not trying to get sniped at all. It's all up to, Shtick to kind of keep the pressure applied and keep them from pushing this, getting his first objective.
Stick goes down. There goes their pressure on Hikaru. Delta Jane pays for it, unfortunately, although not Naga follows shortly afterwards. Gato almost dies in the crossfire. BC Gators up right now, see if they can secure this. We see Greninja securing the kill on Fogsy. This is BC Gators' fight to lose. We've got Farah coming in, but I don't know if it'd be enough. Greninja applying pressure on the top here, forcing them off. Huge
bola shot right onto her.
Farah.
And what a bola shot directly onto the Farah, just completely shut down. My bad, Phoenix. I got a little excited.
Of course, no, you're good.
We had to shut it down right away. I mean, you saw the comeback mechanic was definitely on the table for them. If they get the nano onto the Farah, she hits 1 or 2 rockets directly while she's nanoed. That's like 20% in itself. So that would have been plenty enough charge to get her back into the barrage, get you a potential pick or 2 to get you into the fight, but not going to go their way. They're going to swap over to the Mei. And again, they are so terrified of Hikaru getting these picks, but they have to worry about Greninja as well. Greninja's been putting a lot of pressure on their backline. You can see that he just used bola shot, already at 70% again.
The fact that Freya can charge roll so fast has me very upset in this game. We are seeing the Sigil go out, responds with the Ash ult. Here comes the Mizuki ult, keeps them alive, countering that Ana. Both nanos out right now. BC taking out Not Naga. Delta Jaden hunting on the backline. Fogsy goes down. On point. Anti dies. Soj on her own. She dies but takes Hikaru with her.
Yeah, Winwillix getting the two. Yeah, getting the 2 picks, just trying to embody the energy that Hikaru has been bringing to the table. Not going to be able to get a lot more than that. You see Tidal Blast is on the table for the side of IDK, but I mean, who do you put it on here? Do you just put it on the Mei and hopefully she can just run in and knock some people down? I mean, Jaden builds up to a graphitic flex. It's going to be a great flex to get us off on this fight.
The alternative is throw the Wu Yang ult onto your Sojourn while she'll just keep her safe and protect her. We are seeing BC Gators pull back, give up point, but the re-engaging now. Anti on the Sig, hides to let it go off. There goes the Wu Yang ult, heals Sig all the way up. BC Gators continue to apply the pressure here. No one's died yet. Hikaru back on the Cassidy, trying to secure the kill on Mei. Mei goes down. BC Gators are up right now.
Get around the wall!
Gets another one while being hunted in a corner.
Yeah, you can see once Hikaru got back, it was a little easy pickings for them to be able to close out that fight. I mean, a steamroll, so to speak, on the side of BC Blue. They've got 3.5 minutes to push this payload in and full cap the map. They're just looking disheveled, a shell of their former selves. You see Fogsy no longer playing their Lucio counterpart, just trying to find something. Wasn't working on the Wu Yang either, wasn't able to get output as much damage. Tidal Blast pretty much meant nothing. You have access to a Baptiste and keep him alive in these fights. Water swapping back over to Baptiste, but he has window, but he's got to be big here. Got to make it happen.
Here comes the Sigil and gets 2. Oh, well, gets 1 with. That will be BC is out of this fight. See if they can get out alive, regroup. Unfortunately, I believe Delta J might go down here. Sig's feet are not very fast. He's not known for his speed. He does survive. BC Gators all respawned, regrouped, re-engaging. 5 ults in the pocket here. IDK having pretty much 2 ults, pops the window early, takes out Gato. BC Gators doesn't want to engage directly into this. Takes a sec, wait for that window to go down, get the poke damage, get the peck off. See if they can do that.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Hikaru kind of chilling, gets walled off. He's got to be careful right now. But jokes on that Mei, they're not in a room. Soj ult goes off. Gets Not Naga with the Sig ult. Soj goes down. BC Gators absolutely running away with this. Hikaru taking out the Kiriko. Got the Mei and Ice, gonna stagger herself. Gets killed by Aitley with the help of Hikaru. Greninja already putting in the pressure. Widowmaker comes out to try to stop this.
Oh man, if we get a pick here, this would be huge. Oh yeah, you see Winrelix just trying to find a late pick on this point. I mean, you don't have access to your Sigma, so it's going to slow things down just a little bit. Ailey gets the sleep dart onto their Sigma counterpart. Fogsy going to put the Kitsune Rush on the high ground, accidentally messes it up, doesn't get anywhere beyond the doorway. And so now, in Ultimate, pretty much gone to waste. They do lose Greninja, but I think the damage is already mounting up.
It doesn't matter, they're already down 3. BC Gators are gonna win this one most likely. There goes Not Naga. Hikaru barely alive near the end there. Throwing that barrier up to block the Widowmaker. Gonna have to try to touch her. Most likely the Pharah, but she'll die for it. See if anybody else can touch her. Nope, that's map. That's part 1 of the map. 1 minute and 16 seconds on the clock for BC. That's a huge number. So I don't know. This stuff I found out kind of recently, and this stuff I feel dumb for not knowing sooner. There is a method, there is a mechanic within hybrid maps like this, where if one team wins with over a minute left, and the other team only pushes into, gets into overtime, and they get the 3rd point, it means the team that got to overtime no longer gets to have an attack. They only get to defend, which makes it a win or tie scenario. So with BC right now, even if IDK gets it all to the end, if BC is able to at least force it to be in overtime, they put themselves in a win or tie scenario, and there is no losing.
Oh man, that sucks. Whoopsies, forgot to unban Reinhardt, and these guys are trying to play Reinhardt, and they're gonna have to restart the map in order to actually allow Reinhardt to be played. Might have to call a pause there, Joe Mama.
We'll see. Either that or they might just not care. We'll find out.
We'll have to see. Might want to pause there, Joe Mama. So it's unfortunate because there's not a way to unban the character mid-match. You do have to try to go for a restart. It's and again, this is one of those rare situations where they could just try to replicate the score and get it to there. But I mean, unless it looks like the IDK said they just wanted to play it through, which is definitely an option on the table.
Well, it sounds like on the rule book, potentially it is.
Oh, okay.
They don't have the choice. I think there's very strict rules on when you can restart a map. And
that ain't us, man. That's Joe Wall. He could have had it.
And I mean, on top of that, realistically, this map right so far is in BC's favor. So if they were to agree to a restart of the map, it would make it hard on them that I've tried to replicate what they did here now, and also drag stuff out further. So a restart would definitely be far more advantageous for IDK than BC. And since the mistake was on IDK's part, and therefore Sim TP's up to the top, only Sim gets out before it breaks, leaving her singled out and her team without her right now. Soj on the left high ground along with Lucio. BC kind of pulling back the Alcove, takes out Sim already. Hakuru already working his magic. Lucio getting low. Lucio dies again. Hakuru almost goes down to it. BC already repelled this push. IDK having a full retreat to regroup with the rest of their team that died here.
Yeah, try to get back into the fight. Got to do it quickly. I mean, I know they have plenty of time here, but I think it's one of those things that you know what the win condition is. I think you're mainly going to try to focus getting rid of these DPS very early on in the fight, and then just try to go from there.
TPs,
and they're going to TP again straight to the high ground.
This time gets more of the team, but not all of them. Still only 3. Tank and both supports right now in a room where Sig can just lob non-stop shots in there, and where Greninja can get from behind and some easy damage if he goes that way. We've seen the Ramacho drop to point. No one's died yet. Fogsy getting low. Winrex goes down. BC Gators in the lead now. We do see IDK in control of point. Greninja pushes in deep on low HP. See if they punch, but they cannot. He gets another kill. Was that Sig ult? No, it's just Sig celebrating. We do see the Baptiste ult go already. Greninja goes down to Winrex. BC Gators got the Sig ult. Might have to use it here potentially. Unfortunately, it looks like that'll be a BC Gators wipe. 4 minutes and 40 seconds.
Yeah. Seriously, what a weird situation where, again, you were just cursing the opposing team and saying, "Wow, there's no picks," and then Greninja gets this long range snipe with the Freya, able to snipe him out of the hallway. But still, I mean, the window from Waters have been so spectacular at just completely opening up the fight and making things a lot harder to introduce and get into it, despite him having to eat. Just wasn't enough to survive that window onslaught. So he's going to have to try to go back into this here with an extra point. Stick getting very low, not going to be able to teleport for the time being. Walks into a bolo shot. Nagai just having to block the entire time.
IDK pushed up super farther and I got the sim behind. But IDK pushed up all the way to second point where they just captured main point there. Here goes the Emor field. We see, unfortunately, Hakuru goes down. Beat comes out. That's Hakuru and Gato out of this fight already, as well as more ults out from IDK. And there comes Window. I'm not sure that's necessary, but BC Games will not complain about it.
Yeah, that was a very late window from Water, but I think you just want to make sure you guarantee the picks. You saw a couple of DPS alive, and again, it's been a thorn in their side. Just want to make sure they don't give them any room for to mount any type of comeback.
IDK pushing really far up already, not even at the second point, already on this high ground at the end. Trying to make sure BC won't be able to touch in time. I don't think they will, unfortunately. We are seeing more ults out from BC. 4.5 minutes on the clock for IDK, controlling the high ground here. BC's kind of stuck on the low ground right now, trying to get that poke damage off and not dying.
Yeah, Jaden's in a really tough spot because he doesn't have access to his major perk yet, and for most Sigma players, when they want to get onto the major perk, they're going to be looking for the float. The levitate perk. So at that point, he's gonna stuck on low ground until he gets that, unless they want to try to make any type of change for the DPS lineup. But I think they're gonna stick with the hit scan, trying to pressure point again, and look how far they're pushing it in. 4 minutes essentially, still just chugging along, and Winterlake's popping system overload, just trying to put more pressure onto the Sigma. And guess what? The Sigma immediately falls.
That's a lot of ults out of IDK. They just pop both Emre and Sim ults. BCG is going to have to try to touch her. It's going to be a close touch if they can get it at all. I don't think they will.
Where are we going, Gato? We got to go to the point. Hello, we're sitting in spawn. We're thinking about swapping to Lucio, just not going to even give it any type of contest. And I mean, I know you just found out about this. I don't know how it took you this long to learn this, Phoenix, considering you play at a competitive level, but not going to matter because we got a 3-minute time bank on the side of IDK.
Yeah, this is going to be a rough time to make up, but as we saw with their attack, BC can do it. They were able to take point of their first fight on a first attack, so the left try to do it again in the second attack, hopefully.
Okay, let me ask you this then, Phoenix. Do you know, like, if both teams finish with over a certain time limit, when it, like, starts to take away time?
I'll pull them both down to... Well, hold up. I don't know the exact... I know pull them both down. I don't remember the exact amount of time I'll pull them both down. 2 minutes? Okay.
So if both teams finish with over 2 minutes, it'll pull them both down to equal whatever the lowest amount of time is to the 2-minute mark, and it pulls down the equal amount for the opposing team. But considering that BC has not finished over that 2-minute mark, no time will be adjusted here. It's just gonna be the 116. They got to push it through. And seriously, I mean, that was a very bizarre push from them. I mean, they looked like it was totally on the side of BC Blue when they got the initial pick, and steamroll from IDK.
They got the picks up, but just weren't able to secure the fight. Hakuru going Widowmaker this time. Trying to flex those hit scan skills, get those picks off early.
Okay, but again, we're only down to a minute, so I don't know if he's going to stick with it. It's going to be very a very confident option.
Sticks goes down.
Ninja gets a pick. Stick falls, and now no more immortality field on the side of Gato. He winds up using it kind of early on that fight. Got to be careful looking for headshot, not going to be able to find it. Delta winds up getting rid of Nagai, but now a big bulkier support will fall. I think they're going to wind up getting a tick, so they're not going to, it's not going to be any type of draw. It's either going to be a win or lose situation for them. But Fogsy getting a couple picks for the road. They're looking like they're going to try to recontest. No shield yet.
Hakuru switches over to Cassidy now. Got the ball switch. BC is going to try to recontest her in a second. They're only down to 18 seconds remaining. Greninja being harassed by Wrecking Ball here. Greninja being able to throw those shots off into that window, stopping them being able to control the space up there, making them afraid to peek.
Yeah, they're not going to be able to peek at all. I mean, the guy swapping off of the Sigma, going back over to the Ramatra now. It's going to be one of those things. I think you need to start stacking up some ultimates and just ult bomb to try to get rid of this payload. Because again, when we go into overtime, we leave it on overtime for quite a while. It makes the payload dissipate very, very quickly. That's why characters like the Mei and even the Sigma are so sought after, because it can literally clear the point by itself.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. Right now, we continue to see the poke damage. IDK playing from a distance, giving free progress to BC right now. Haikuru on the front line, trying to kill the kid. 8ly goes down early. Sleeps Haikuru. That might be the fight. That's 3 down. BC. Ramatra about to die. Ramatra goes down. And that will be the attack for BC Gators. They did make it a decent distance after capping points, so it might be winnable. It's going to be a close one, though. Nail biter. Right now, we are 2-2 on maps. BC Gators and IDK tying it up right now between the two. One overtime. Round 4 now for a King's Row here. 3.5 minutes in the bank for IDK, having to push it cap point and then push it 55 meters to win. BC is just having to stop that from happening. 3.5 minutes. It's gonna be a close one.
100%. Couldn't have gone any other way. Went the full distance. And again, that first, the very first map from these teams have been neck and neck. So it's nice to see that it all boils down to one single push here. And again, I'm concerned with the support choice on the side of BC Blue, because instead of going for a support that has that ability to survive a big ultimate bomb from the side of IDK, opting for the Kakai Sanctuary. And again, that's one of those ultimates that's not great with trying to keep your team alive in those crucial ultimates. Unless it's like a hit scan, like the overclock or something, most of the time you can kind of just walk right in and eliminate your opposers.
I mean, yeah, but the healing output from inside it is very useful to keep your team alive. So if you're throw that on point, that forces the entire enemy team to come to you or to fully retreat.
Okay, they're teleporting straight to high ground again.
High ground here.
Nice anti onto the
Greninja
guy.
Getting low. Haikuru taking damage. Haikuru takes out Winrex. Going after the Lucio. Lucio gets away. TP goes out, but no one goes through it. Continuing to see that fight go down. Styx goes down. Foxy goes down. BC have this fight to win. Haikuru pushes in far. Does not realize there's a Ramatra right there. Doesn't matter. Greninja helps from behind, taking out Water and not Nagia. BC wins the first team fight, but still 2 minutes and 45 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, welcome to the car wash, buddy. You walk straight into it, but it's not a big deal. They still got the high ground pressure, and I think they're going to try to eagerly get their team back into the fight, because they have to try to take some sort of control on the high ground. They go do the same setup again, teleport to high ground. The anti-accidentally going to hit their teammate, actually going to force the heals instead. 8ly getting super low, forced to retreat, and
Greninja goes down.
Foxy gets 2 picks. Yeah, you can see the guy just going straight to the heart, straight to the back line again. They're forced to retreat. They do get the picks here, but now an opportunity for them to potentially recontest. We've got the Kakai Sanctuary, and with Jaden back on the Ramatra still, he can definitely get back a lot quicker than the Sigma counterparts. And instead, they're just going to surrender it. I think they're just going to try to play the time. I guess it's a strategy, but they're going to have to play perfect here.
They do have a huge ult advantage right now with Haikuru's ult, Gato's ult, Delta Jane's about to get his ult, Greninja's about to get his ult, and 8ly's about to get his ult. The only thing in response is just Water's Baptiste ult.
I'm wondering which one I mean, how are you going to try to deal with this window? I think you're going to try to, use that Kakai Sanctuary, but you got to make sure you pay attention to the Sim Teleport, not put too much pressure onto the backline. 5 ultimates on the side of BC Blue. Kakai does go up, but the window's already inside. Hikaru gets rid of Styx into the backline, but you can see the guy going straight to the heart. Jaden getting super low, forced to use the nano onto the tank. And Hikaru feeling the pressure, just gonna pop the high noon, waiting for the shield to go down. The guy just waiting for the inevitable. And again, a very late annihilation from Jaden. Now they have no ultimates going into this potential last fight.
One, maybe two fights left in this. No ult with the BC Gators side. We are going to see the Emre ult out and the Sim ult potentially, and also potentially more ults from IDK. It is going to be a close one. Looking out for that TP from behind. Here comes the TP. Immediate takes it out. No TP. Here comes the Sim ult. Here comes the Emre ult. They need to touch 0.29 meters. Aitli goes down. Greninja goes down. Delta Jaden goes down. And that's going to be it, unfortunately. Down to the last second, to the wire. IDK is able to cap the point in the last few seconds of map 5.
Yeah, IDK shutting down the reverse sweep, not going to make it a reality. Was kind of concerned that they didn't get their Rhine pick that they wanted, but it all worked out for them at the end of the day. BC Blue really fighting their hearts out, but IDK sticking strong with their team composition and finding a way to make it successful. And again, doing it with the Baptiste. Really, really good play from Water throughout this entire series.
Oh, yeah. Now, that was a great series for today. We've had, once again, 2 to 3, and the last map being about as close as it can possibly get. Both teams pretty equally skilled. You can really see both teams have put in the time, put in the effort, improved. And this is a great chance for them to test themselves against another team of an equal skill level. And I believe there'll be a lot that BC will be able to watch again from reviewing their matches and being able to go back and see where they can improve. And it's these close matches, these close matchups that allow for the most amount of improvement in the long run. So
100%, man. Test your resolve. Test it with the best. I mean, you're never going to start feeling that pressure until it comes down to these series right here, where it gets down to the nitty gritty. It comes down to those like do or die situations. I mean, all that pressure mounted up, and it came to a boiling point where they felt like they had to use all of their resources, all of their utility, all their ultimates to feel like they needed to win that fight. And again, sometimes it's just you got to find a way to temper yourself, kind of survey the surroundings before you make any type of commitment. But either which way, I think there's a lot of good points on the side of BC Blue, so I'm really excited for this team to compete in the regular season.
No, exactly. And that'll be starting up, I believe, in September for the regular season. This will be running until pretty much the same week as the regular season starts up. But I think that'll be it for today. Thank you all for tuning in. Thanks again for the amazing Mr. LeapFrog for casting today. And if you want to check him out, I'm not sure where can they find you if they want to see some other streams. I know you stream in quite a few other you cast for quite a few other tournaments and cast quite a few other games as well. If people are looking, where can they find you for that?
Yeah, you know where to find me at. You can jump on the Twitter. It's at the Mr. LeapFrog. I commentate all sorts of games. I mean, I've been dabbling a little bit in Overwatch, Rivals, and Valorant and stuff, but fighting games is typically where I resign. I just did an event in Dallas last weekend. It was a hell of a lot of fun, so I'm hoping to see more of the Brazosport team, as well as the other collegiate talent that we have out here. So I'm excited to keep it going. Phoenix, take us home, baby.
Yeah, all right. Well, that'll be it for today. Thank you all for tuning in, and huge congrats to IDK for winning, but also huge congrats to BC for almost being able to pull it back from the brink and almost able to pull the reverse sweep. But we'll see you guys all next time, and have a good one.